What's up, guys? JP back at you once again, bringing you guys day number 27 in my 13th annual 31 Days of Horror, a series in which we watch and review 31 horror films in 31 days, all during the month of October, leading right up to Halloween. And continuing along with today's review, I decided to do another Dario Argento film. And the film that I am covering today is Four Flies on Grey Velvet from the year 1971. Out of all the Argento movies, and specifically the Animal trilogy, being Bird with the Crystal Plumage, Cat O' Nine Tails, and Four Flies on Grey Velvet, Four Flies is probably the one that I've seen the least. I think I've only watched Four Flies one time ever. There's a few other Argento films that I've only watched once, but out of his earlier stuff, I've watched all of his early stuff, like pre-90s, multiple times, whereas Four Flies I have not. So I was pretty interested to check out Four Flies again, and this one's coming to us courtesy of XIII Films. This was a pretty limited release when they released it a few years ago for Black Friday, I believe. I did end up picking up a copy, and you still can see this pop up at conventions, but it's pretty much out of print now. This is the, I believe, 4-disc 4K, so you have the movie on 4K, you have the English and Italian cut, and then you have the the Blu-ray version, and then a couple features on a 3rd disc, and then I think the score on the 4th disc from Ennio Morricone did the score on this one. So yeah, this is I didn't realize that Luigi Cozzi had a writing credit on here. But yeah, so Four Flies on Grey Velvet. It's a giallo film. It's the 3rd in the Animal trilogy. And it follows this man who plays in a band, and he's on his way home where he's being stalked by another man. This other man pulls a knife on him, and there's a struggle, and then the lead character, who is named I don't know his name because it doesn't say. But he essentially kills the mugger or stalker or whatever you want to call it, and he runs away. He does not report the crime because of fear of being arrested for the murder. So he goes back to his house and stuff, and then he begins receiving threatening warnings that, somebody knows what he did. And this person in a mask here on the cover with the camera actually was in the area and took pictures of him killing the person. So he's sort of being blackmailed a little bit, but he doesn't know why. He enlists the help of a detective. He enlists the help of, or like a private investigator. His wife also is a little taken back by the whole thing, and eventually she decides to leave. But then her cousin, is it her cousin or her sister, comes over, and they begin, the lead character, begin to have a relationship together. And then a lot of the people involved in helping him or involved in the crime begin to be murdered. And then you find out what's going on at the end. There's also this interesting thing where they are able to extract the final image from one of the victims because they got it early enough. Like, if you die and your eyes are looked at or like tested or experimented on early enough, your retina has the last image of what you've seen before death on it, and the person thinks that they see four flies, which is where the title comes from, which I thought was actually although like not realistic, I thought it was pretty cool. That would be something though if we really could do that, right? If your eyes like captured an image like a camera, that would change the world. But yeah, so that's basically the plot. What do I think of this movie? It's a little like convoluted, and by the final, like a lot of giallos are, but by the final like act and like the reveal, I was like, it was all right. You know, I didn't think, I couldn't remember it, so I was surprised at like how it ends. But I do like the lead character. There's a scene where he goes and talks to this like fisherman dude. I don't know if it's supposed to be a relative of him, but that was kind of a funny scene. Which reminded me of like the scene in Bird with the Crystal Plumage where the guy finds like the painter guy. Besides that, there's some okay kills and some good giallo tropes that I enjoy, like threatening phone calls and threatening the voices and stuff. There's one cool scene in particular where the maid actually is trying to blackmail the people that are blackmailing, and she gets chased through like a corridor and is behind a wall and gets murdered. I thought that was a pretty cool scene. The mystery itself does keep you like wondering like what's gonna, even though I've seen this film before, I was trying to figure out, like piece it together as I was watching it. I could not remember, and I was like, oh, this is just is like a fresh watch for me. But watching the story unfold, it never came back to me. I kept thinking like, oh, it's gonna come back to me, and it just never did. But I thought that the mystery was pretty interesting, like watching the different like twists and turns throughout the story, because there's one part where you find out that something that happened earlier in the film didn't actually happen, and I was like, oh, I totally forgot that was like that. The score is pretty good, and I actually really like the ending like shots of the film. I think it like just looks cool. The transfer looked good. Definitely, it's not my favorite Argento, but I think it is pretty solid still. I think I might like it about the same as Cat O' Nine Tails, maybe a little bit more. But I like Bird with the Crystal Plumage more than both of them. Whereas I think I like, when I initially watched all three of them, I think I like this one the best early on. But yeah, it's a pretty cool movie. I'm going to go ahead and give it a 7.5 out of 10. And with that said, I hope you guys enjoyed the review. I will see you guys next time with another one. Peace.